Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be reacting to Singed, the Mad Chemist. Now, as of recording this, we are doing this in the middle of season 2 of Arcane, so we haven't seen episodes 4 through 9 yet. But, you know, we had those episodes 1 through 3 of Arcane season 2, and of course, we've already had season 1 of Arcane. So I was like, okay, I know Singed is probably a little bit different in the show than his League of Legends character, but I was like, maybe it's a good time to finally learn about Singed in League of Legends, just to maybe get a more of an idea of like his inner thinking and things like that. Now, I have already done a reaction to Warwick if you do want to check that out, because that is kind of related to Singed and essentially Arcane as well. So go check that out. I have it pinned at the top. But let's go ahead and learn about Singed and League of Legends. His quote says, "You mustn't die. I have far too much to learn from your fragile anatomy." That's kind of like an evil ass voice line there, isn't it? All right, role is tank. Oh, that's interesting. Tank is his role. Region is Zon, and then we have related champions are Warwick, Riven, and Master Yi. Master Yi's kind of an interesting one. Why is he here? I guess he's behind my head. Yeah, these are all kind of interesting. The Warwick one obviously makes sense to me. All right, Singed is a brilliant alchemist of dubious morality whose experiments would turn the stomach of even the most cutthroat criminal. Selling his skills to the highest bidder, he cares little for how his noxious concoctions are used, with the ensuing chaos and experiment in itself. His most infamous work is Shimmer, which enabled the Chem Barons to turn Zon into their personal playground, but fueled by madness, Singed is always working on something new, with each endeavor more depraved than the last. All right, let's check out the biography. The twisted, unfathomable madman known across Runeterra as Singed began his life as an ordinary man in Piltover. As a child, he displayed a prodigious intellect and a boundless sense of curiosity. The principles and interactions of the natural world fascinated him, eventually leading him to pursue a scholarship at the prestigious University of Piltover. It did not take long for his brilliance to be recognized. Singed's research into the natural sciences was impressive, groundbreaking even, but he found that Piltover's attention had been stolen away ever since the discovery of Hextech and the opportunities the hybrid of magic and technology presented. Singed found himself on the outside looking in, seeing magic as a crutch leaned upon those who were either incapable of understanding how the world worked or simply didn't care enough to find out. He became a vocal critic of what he saw as a new and ignorant fad within the university. Singed instead delved into the chemical potential of alchemy, and despite the boon his intellect garnered for the field, his efforts earned him little more than the ridicule of his fellow academics. Before long, his funding had dried up, and he was forced out of the university and out of Piltover. Singed had no choice but to begin a new life in Zon. In the Undercity, life was cheap and the demand for innovation high. Singed was quickly able to find work in the emergent chemtech industries, lending his skills and relentless drive for a variety of increasingly unscrupulous clients. His experiments, often of questionable ethicality, cast a wide net, augmenting humans, animals, and even fusions of the two, among countless other endeavors. Jeez. Nonetheless, he pushed his new field forward at an incredibly rapid pace, but often at the expense of his own health. Understanding better than anyone the chemical needs of a living body, he engineered stimulants that could keep him alert and working for weeks at a time, before he would collapse, shivering and feeble, and sleep for days on end. This man was doing like Adderall and Ritalin in the League of Legends world, right? Singed's obsessive, tireless efforts as an alchemist meant he found no shortage of patrons and clients, eventually including even the war masons of Noxus. Oh, okay. The gossip was rampant across both Piltover and Zon that the Empire and their Grand General were on the verge of bankruptcy from paying Piltover's extortionate tithes for military passage to the campaigns in northern Shurima, and soon they might be looking elsewhere for new, less expensive conquests. So long as they paid his fees, Singed didn't care. The Grand General mentioned even. After years of smaller off and on projects, Singed was approached by a Noxian military commander named Emiston, who contracted the alchemist to help her break the bitter stalemate of the war in Ionia. She needed a new kind of weapon from him, like of which no one had ever seen before, and she could make him a wealthy man indeed. You know, when I'm reading this is making me think like we'll get like the Noxus Ionian War maybe in like a new season of or a new show for League of Legends or something. We'll have to see. Just like in this connection here with like Noxus and then the war in Ionia, obviously, I think that'd be really cool. Putting aside all other concerns, Singed poured all of his intellect, knowledge, and experience into the synthesis of this new weapon. The result of his efforts was an alchemical fire that was unstable, volatile, and utterly horrifying. When it was finally unleashed in Ionia against the enemies of Noxus, it burned hot enough to fracture stone and tainted the earth around it with dense metallic poison so completely that almost nothing would grow there. Even Emiston's own allies were appalled, though not quite enough to name her and Singed as war criminals. That literally makes me think of like napalm use, like during the Vietnam War and stuff. Now, without any restraint for capital, materials, or even subjects to experiment upon, Singed nonetheless feels the weight of years upon him. His most recent work has taken a decidedly more biological angle and of a far more dramatic scope. A recent exercise in the melding of animal, man, and machine left his laboratories in ruins, his face held together with filthy bandages, and his subject freely prowling the streets of Zaun, yet Singed remains undeterred. Obviously Warwick there. He had already mastered the destruction of flesh, and thus now has turned to the preservation and transformation of it, and perhaps even the possibility that life need not end with an inescapable death. Oh, so now he's just working on, like, immortality. All right, very interesting. I mean, there's a little bit of things in here, maybe like timeline-wise, that I would say don't really go with the show Arcane. But I think overall here, and like, I don't know if the University of Piltover is something that Singed actually does end up doing in the show, because, you know, there is like a big time jump. Obviously no mention of like little Victor, seeing him as well in here, but obviously we get all of that in the show, so we don't really need it in his little biography here. But overall, yeah, this is a good recap and like just new bits about Singed, and obviously this little paragraph down here about Warwick. We have already read the story for like Singed making Warwick. That's in the Warwick reaction, so if you want to check that out, go check out the Warwick reaction. All right, everybody, I don't want to be that guy that sits here and reads a story for like 25 minutes, but we have a very long story called The Host that is included for Singed. It's very, very long. I'm not going to read it, but if anybody has read it and wants to summarize it for us in, you know, in the comments or anything like that. I just saw a couple comments about it, I think on like the wiki, saying this story is very disturbing. Other than that though, like, yeah, if anybody has read this, please let me know what this story called The Host is. It looks like right here, like from the first sentence, I'm going to die. So this has to be with Singed, like trying to not die. You know, like at the end of the biography there was some mention of after the Warwick thing, he's like trying to work on maybe not dying. So I don't know. Maybe you guys let me know what this story is about. All right, next up we have Singed abilities. His role is tank / mage, and difficulty is medium. So I saw a lot of people making a joke during the first part of this Arcane season 2, that Singed is like jungling basically when he goes to kill the two-headed wolves. I forget what they're called right now, but is that his primary role, or is he like top lane, or what role does he actually play, or what lane does he actually end up playing in League of Legends? You guys will have to let me know. All right, so looking at his passive, Noxious Slipstream. Singed drafts off nearby champions, gaining a burst of move speed when passing them. Oh, okay, so yeah, that kind of I feel like already answers my question. So literally like a jungler going past like other champions or nearby champions would literally make sense for a jungler, I feel like. All right, next up we have Poison Trail. This dude's just letting out farts as he goes, I guess. All right, Q leaves a trail of poison behind Singed, dealing damage to enemies caught in the path. Pretty self-explanatory. Next we have Mega Adhesive. W throws a vial of Mega Adhesive on the ground, slowing and grounding enemies who walk on it. I kind of want to see some of these abilities like in the Arcane show, but we don't really have Singed like being in combat, right? So I guess it makes sense that we haven't seen any of this. Next up is Fling. What? Is he just super strong or something? He can just throw people? What? That's his E. Damages target enemy unit and flings them into the air behind Singed. If the target Singed flings lands in his Mega Adhesive, they are also rooted. That is the most crazy random ability I think I've ever. That's so crazy. Is that just like the Chemtech or Shimmer making him strong enough to just be able to do that? That's insane. All right, and then last but not least is his ultimate called Insanity Potion. All right, so Singed drinks a potent brew of chemicals, granting him increased combat stats and making his Poison Trail apply grievous wounds. Oh, so his ultimate literally just gives him like buffed stats. He like drinks a brew of chemicals and becomes buffed up. And then he also leaves like his Poison Trails better. Okay, I feel like the abilities are kind of weird. You guys will have to let me know how Singed though is in the game, like what meta wise he is. Is he pretty good right now? Is he not really used at the moment? You guys let me know all that stuff in the comments. These abilities are weird, especially Fling. I can see like Fling being really good, right? Because the point of Fling is to put the enemy champion in a bad position, right? That's a pretty good ability. I just didn't see a champion like Singed having that, right? Mega Adhesive, that seems like something he would make. The Poison Trail, obviously him just farting around also makes sense. But yeah, you guys let me know how Singed is in League of Legends. All right, guys, this is going to be a little bit of a shorter reaction. I already knew going into this kind of that Singed didn't have like too much going on with his lore and everything that we have. We obviously have all the stuff going on in Arcane. which is very nice to see. But in terms of like cinematics, in terms of like those kinds of things, and in terms of like a login screen or like Legends of Runeterra, Wild Rift, there really isn't like any trailers or cinematics for Singed. So we're just going to go ahead and go straight into the skins. We do have a decent amount of skins here. I will pick my top 3. It looks like we have like 10 or so skins, and we'll pick our top 3. Yeah. All right, starting off with the original design. All right, let's get a good look at Singed here with his original design. So I don't think we've yet to see the shield at all in the show. I don't know if we've seen the giant green vial here as well. We've definitely seen like a little potion vial. We saw that actually just recently in the newest season of Arcane. Other than that, yeah, I mean, that's what he looks like in the show. All right, next up we have Riot Squad. A little bit of a weird old skin. Okay, so it's another one of those Riot Squad skins. We just saw one of those actually kind of recently for, I think, Graves. So yeah, I mean, oh, he's got a giant like flash grenade on his back instead of a poison vial. That's kind of fun. And then he also has a flash grenade here. That's pretty cool. I like that. Next is, Hex Tech Singed. All right. I'm not really seeing, so obviously this is a bit of an older skin. I'm not really seeing like the Hex Tech version of it. Obviously, I don't think Hex Tech was like how it is in Arcane now with all like the blue and stuff. They're still keeping with like the little like lime green kind of color around him and everything. So I think that's still cool. But other than that, there's really not too much going on with this skin. All right, next up we have Surfer Singed. That is one of the last skins I would have thought of. Like Pool Party, that's not something I would ever see for Singed, but let's take a look. Okay, what? Why does he look so weird? Okay, I like I like the surfboard as the shield. I like that. Whose face is this on the back? Is this supposed to be Singed before he like lost his hair and became all weird looking? That's so funny. It says, oh no, it's Tarek's Tropical Tan. Oh my God. So he's got suntan lotion on the back, which is hilarious. And then he's got like one of these tiki cups in his hand for the poison vial. This is actually a fun skin that I didn't know if I would enjoy, and it's actually really good. I'm sorry, but the lotion and the surfboard, so funny. All right, next up is Mad Scientist. All right, I mean, come on, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, there's like your typical idea of a mad scientist. This skin is actually pretty cool. I like that. I like the little like scientific little stuff going on here with the little buttons and the levers. That's cool. And then we have some more vials on the back instead, and it's purple. I'm just gonna assume that's shimmer, even though it's probably not. I think the purple just kind of goes with like the mad scientist kind of idea. I think this is actually kind of a fun skin for him because I could see it as like a Halloween skin, but I could also just see it as like a skin for, you know, the kind of character that Singed is. All right, let's see what else we get here. Augmented. Why does he look like Bane from Batman? Okay, they were doing crazy skins back in the day. Yeah, this looks like he's all buff and everything. So they literally did a Bane style skin for Singed. If you really like Batman, or if you really like the Bane villain from the Batman movies or the comics or whatever, perfect. Seeing Singed as like this big buffed Chemtech dude, kind of weird to me. But it's out there for somebody. Somebody likes this skin. Again, though, I do think it's creative. Like some of these first skins here are pretty fun. All right. Oh, Snow Day. Okay. A lot of the old champs seem to have this Snow Day one. This is probably like the first winter line that they did for skins. Okay, I love that he has a snowblower on the back and a sled for a shield. Like, that's so creative to me, and a snowball for the poison vial. Like, I'm telling you, like, this is actually pretty creative and fun, in my opinion, compared to, like, some other Snow Day ones. Like, sometimes they have, like, little flares to them, but the fact that they're changing both the back and the shield, I think that's really cool. All right, okay, we have SSW. I think we just saw one of these recently for Rengar. Let's take a look at this one for Singed. Ooh, oh, the shield is a massive, like the symbol for SSW, I assume. And it's a trophy on the back. That's pretty fun. And what does he have? Is that like an energy drink or a soda? I mean, okay, he's just a gamer with his trophy on his back. I mean, that's kind of cool. Personally, though, I don't think I'm a big fan of like the SSW skins that I've seen so far. I don't know if it's really the color scheme or just the fact that they're like in regular clothes. But it's an okay skin. All right, we only have 4 more skins for him. Let's see what else we get. Black Scourge. Oh, this is okay. Now this is genius. Plague Doctor Singed. That's and the shield. Okay, hold on. Unfortunately, none of these have chromas just yet, but the shield is sick. I love that we have a syringe. That's cool. And it's like a coffin on the back. Okay, this by far is the best skin for him. Plague Doctor just makes perfect sense to me. I really like that. I mean, the mask is iconic, first of all. They didn't have to go so hard with the shield. The coffin, I think, is okay. I think it's very fitting. It's very fun. The syringe is also really, really cool. This skin so far, top 3 material. Beekeeper singed. Okay, all right. I could see it maybe. Okay. I mean, we don't even get to see the man's face. I guess that makes sense. Oh, the shield is interesting. It's a honeycomb with like some honey hanging off of it, and then we have a beehive on the back. What is he holding? Oh, is that thing that they spray, or is it just like a thing that he's putting the honey in? Maybe. Okay, I like it. I like the little bee on the belt here. That's fun. Is there any like chromas? No chromas for him for any of these, unfortunately. The beekeeper thing is fun, like especially if you guys were doing like all bee skins on your team, and somebody wanted to be singed and they did the beekeeper one. I think that'd be kind of fun to do that with your friend. Overall, though, by far, I think the black scourge skin is quite a bit better than this, but I still think this is a fun one. All right, we have two more. Resistance. Oh, this is like a Noxus version of him. Resistance singed. Ooh. Okay, so we got like a big backpack with multiple vials. Oh, the shield is pretty cool. Oh, it's like it's almost like Terminator vibes I'm getting a little bit. And then he's just got like a red grenade. Okay, I like this. Singed being like super buff like this freaks me out a little bit because I feel like that's not the kind of character Singed would be. He wouldn't be like a big buff guy, right? We do finally have some chromas at least, which is kind of nice. But overall, I think it's just an okay skin. I might end up picking some of the more creative skins because like while this is a little creative, it's also kind of plain at the same time, if that makes sense. All right, and last but not least, astronaut singed. I mean, I love the space groove and the astronaut skins. They're always fun with the little alien. Look at the little alien on the back. Let's see the shield. Shield is cool. Astronaut singed. I love the two. Okay. Yep. I mean, this is just fun to me. I really like sometimes I really like the non-serious skins, right? Although it doesn't look like him because you don't even see his bald head in this or anything like that. You still get like the stance and like, I don't know, the skinny legs of Singed. So I still think it looks enough like Singed that I think I like it. Yeah, I think this is a fun one, guys. All right, let's go ahead and pick my top three. All right, guys, we have to start off 100% with the Black Scourge skin. That is by far my favorite Singed skin. I'm going to go second with the Astronaut one. I think by far it's also better than some of the other ones. Beekeeper and Resistance I think are okay. Let me look at the creative ones again down here. You know what? I think I laughed so much at the Surfer skin that I have to go with Surfer Singed. The freaking suntan lotion, the tiki cup, it was just too much. So I think we're going to go with that as our third favorite skin. All right, let's take a look at the little bit of trivia they have here. So Singed was one of the first champions, 6 champions designed together with Annie, Lee Sin, Scion, Sivir, and Twisted Fate. So it obviously makes sense that he's one of the oldest champions in all of League of Legends, that he wouldn't have like, some of the stuff is pretty outdated, right? Or just there isn't a lot of cinematics and stuff for him right now. Coincidentally, Singed is an anagram for the word design, befitting his history of being one of the earliest designed champions. Oh, that is cool. I feel like also he likes to design, I don't know, like what he's doing with Warwick, right? Singed was one of the champions chosen for the Noxian pool available during the Ionia versus Noxus match. He was one of the selected champions. Well, that makes sense because he does end up helping Noxus with the war in Ionia. Singed's dance references Will Smith's Jump On It dance from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And then it says he shared this dance with Kale before the latter's rework, though hers includes the beginning of the dance. Even though Poison Trail's cloud appears to expand as it fades, the area affected by the poison does not actually increase. Singed is one of the few champions with a special interaction between his emotes and his ability set, as fleeing automatically causes him to laugh. Oh, that's cool. Although Singed holds his shield in his left hand in the default splash art, every other skin shows it in his right hand. Singed holds his shield in his right hand in all the in-game models. Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, yeah. He literally is holding it in the left. A bottle of Singed poison can be seen leaking in the Mac launch preview video. Singed's bald figure, red and green color motifs, and his large boots make him resemble Sigma from the Mega Man / Rockman X series. Okay, so maybe that's an inspiration for his design. All right, guys, let's keep going. All right, guys, we're on the League of Legends Wiki. We're taking a look at his information here. We're going to skip over early life and Ionian involvement. We already read about that. We're going to read the experimenting on Warwick just because, you know, it's just a good thing to read in the current climate we're in, right? So let's go ahead and read this, and then we'll also read, there actually is a description of that short story that I didn't want to read that was like 20 minutes long, called The Host. Okay, so it says, experimenting on Warwick, Singed kidnapped a gangster who he named subject number 1088, which we now know, well, we don't 100% know right now as of recording, but we're 100,000% basically saying it's Vander, whom wanted to reform his life after retiring from crime. For years, he subjected him to many torturous experiments by augmenting chemtech upgrades on him while he was fully conscious, since Singed believed that pain was the catalyst to immortality. After implementing the chemtech pump into Warwick's body, he turned hostile and started to attack Singed, but after the two struggled for a while, Warwick succumbed to his injuries. Disappointed in his experiment's failure, Singed disposed of Warwick's body, but the latter came back to life as a chimera and escaped during the night. Singed woke up from the noise and found the damage inflicted upon his lab. He decided to find a new lab, but also start investigating Warwick so he could start the next phase of his experiment. We'll have to see, again, as of recording this, we've only seen the first 3 episodes of Arcane Season 2. We'll have to see if any of this actually ends up happening. All right, and then the host. Singed kidnapped 2 men named Hadri, Spillweather, and Palo, codenaming them Thinker and Breaker respectively, trapping them in a glass cage and performing inhumane surgeries on them, implanting a parasite into Hadri's chest and augmenting Palo with pneumatochem muscular enhancements while recording his experiment using a recording device. Dude, Singed is crazy evil. He interrogated Hadri on all the details of his life, and when he was unable to answer or refused, Singed blasted him with cold sump water. When Hadri tried to empathize with Singed by telling him about his son Locke, Singed told Hadri that he had no family, and he begged him for a cure for his illness, but would be reduced to nothing as he wouldn't comply. He then told Hadri to latch onto Palo to join the parasite. When Hadri stood up to his captor, he deemed him uncooperative and turned the water valve to full strength before leaving, intending to flood the lab to drown the 2 subjects. Oh my god. Hadri and Palo cooperated to escape the lab, but the parasite attached to Palo as Singed had intended, causing the 2 subjects to have their minds linked. After being confronted by followers of Victor, they came face to face with Singed, who tested Hadri to see if his mind was still intact, threatening to shoot them with a tranquilizer gun if they didn't comply. When he was unable to get the results he wanted, Singed believed that they were a failure and provoked them into chasing him, gradually weakening them with his poisonous gas. As they fell down on the verge of death, Hadri recognized the professor as Singed back when he was in Piltover, and Singed told Hadri that he was Thinker 4 and he'd fared much better than Thinker 2. Oh, whoa. Implying he'd done similar experiments before. He then walked away, leaving Hadri and Palo to die in despair. Yo, I mean, I knew Singed was messed up, but man, yeah, I can see why the host was seen as like a really messed up story. All right, so we have appearance. Not much is known about how Singed looked like when he was young. However, throughout most of his life, he was a tall, lanky, and pale man. He has a permanent facial scar on one side of his face. Some depictions show his right side being damaged while others his left side. Eventually, Singed would start wearing additional bandages to hide the facial scars inflicted by Warwick. Again, something we'll have to see if that ends up happening in Season 2 of Arcane. Personality: Singed is a cruel, heartless scientist with no regard for his victims, performing depraved experiments on his test subjects for the belief that they would become superior beings, while subjecting them to physical and mental suffering with no remorse and seeing them as nothing more than lesser creatures or objects to experiment on. He is a perfectionist who doesn't like when people fail his high standards and feels nothing but disappointment when they die. So something that is obviously not being mentioned in here, I think it just hasn't been updated with the Arcane stuff. At the end of Season 1, we did have him be the one that actually gives Jinx Shimmer and basically makes her the way she is kind of now in Season 2, right? So that's something that I'm seeing missing from here, but that's totally okay. All right, let's look at his abilities. So chemically enhanced physiology. Thanks to countless experiments on himself, Singed possesses physical capabilities or abilities far above that of a normal human. Enhanced durability. Singed can endure much more damage than a normal human. In Arcane, he was blasted with a massive explosion of Shimmer, and although he received some heavy scars, he doesn't have to have any kind of loss of function with his physical capabilities. Okay, so this was updated with Arcane, which is cool. Enhanced immunity. Singed is immune to the effects of many of his toxic poisons, allowing him to freely use them without concern towards his health. Enhanced speed. Singed can run at much faster speeds than that of a normal human. Enhanced strength. Singed is far stronger than any normal human, especially one his age. Yeah, I know, he has a freaking fling ability. He is able to carry his massive shield on one hand, massive bottle on his back, and heavy armor without issue, running and attacking with speed and precision. All right, so there's a quote here that says, once again, scientific progress is stifled by lesser creatures. I guess it's about Warwick. As Singed forced Warwick into being a test subject for one of his unethical experiments, it can be assumed that Warwick hates him more than anything, given that Singed also showed no remorse towards Warwick as he subjected the latter to many brutal procedures. It can also be assumed that he sees Warwick not as a living organism, but as an object to be researched and studied. Ionia and Noxus. Singed helped Noxus invade Ionia by giving them a toxic substance that Noxus used to kill their enemies and raise their land. This would affect many people, including Riven, who was scarred from the sight of the substance being used on others, Irelia and Karma, whose forces were killed by the substance, and Master Yi, whose village was razed by the substance. Okay, so there's the little connection with Master Yi. And then we have Hadri, Spillweather, and Palo, which we just read about them. We don't need to read it again. We know that they were basically experimented on by Singed. So I want to hear from you guys in the comments, though. I know there is a little bit of a theory that Oriana is his daughter. But, you know, they're not really like doing anything about that in the second season of Arcane. I guess they don't really need to, again, as of now. But I wonder if we'll ever get a confirmation from Riot on Oriana actually being his daughter or not. All right, looking at the content for him. So we read the biography. There's obviously the Arcane series. We did read the Engineering the Nightmare in the Warwick reaction, and then we skipped out on the Host short story because it was a little bit of a longer one. But yeah, guys, I think Singed, I don't even want to say Singed needs more content at this point. We literally have him in the Arcane series, which is almost more than we can ask for. So that's pretty nice to have at least. We'll definitely have to see what happens to him in these last 6 episodes of season 2. All right, last but not least, trivia. Singed's lore shares some similarities with the real-life chemist Fritz Haber. Haber, like Singed, was an unabashed proponent of chemical warfare who created many deadly gases used on the battlefields of World War I. There are also further similarities in the ethical implications of both of their work. Being present during the first discovery of Hextech, he is most likely over 100 years old. His research helps him prolong his lifespan significantly, and he is now trying to gain immortality. Singed's bio quote, "My deadliest dose shall bear my patron's name," is reference to a line from the Devil's Dictionary by Ambrose Bierce. "My deadliest drug shall bear my patron's name," referring to mercury. Singed was approached by a Noxian military commander named Emiston to help her break the bitter stalemate of the war in Ionia. Singed is responsible for creating the poisons that decimated Riven's warband and Master Yi's Wuju village. Seeing the approval of slaughter of the innocent caused by Singed and Emiston also made Kieta Varn grew more disillusioned by the Empire's ambitions, which led her to rebel against the Empire in the events of Darius's comic Blood of Noxus. All right, we haven't done a reaction to Darius here, but basically this sentence is just showing like the effects of him helping in that Noxus Ionian war caused like consequences upon consequences to many people. And then it says in Evelyn's pre-rework story, The Shadows Beckon, the vigil knots that guard Kembaron Saito Takeda were augmented by Singed himself. But I guess that was a pre-rework story, so now that story probably isn't canon, but that's pretty cool. All right, guys, all we have left for him are his voice lines. Hopefully we get some like little juicy things or little cool things that maybe I'll be like, oh, that's cool that maybe he has something like that in Arcane, or maybe we'll get a little bit more info and lore about him from the voice lines. All right, guys, let's take a look at the voice lines. Not too many for him. That's totally fine. I just want to hopefully get some more out of Singed than we have like in the show, or maybe just get like a little bit more tidbits or anything like fun from him from the voice lines here. I don't know if we're really going to get any. It looks like there's not too much though. But all right, let's take a look at this. We're going to start off with sound effect for picking and his voice line for picking. Okay, the poison vial blowing up.
How about a drink?
Oh, the voice is interesting.
I hear you.
All right, moving on to movement.
Mix, mix, swirl, mix.
Okay.
I hear you. To shake or not to shake?
Not Shakespeare.
On my way. It's nearly time.
He sounds a little bit like... I like the voice actor in the show. Nothing against this voice actor, but maybe it's just because of the idea that I have of Singed in the show that I'm like more familiar with that than I am with this one. All right, so that was his moving. Let's go on to taunt.
How'd that taste?
Okay, that's a pretty good one.
Shaken, not stirred.
Okay, we're getting some James Bond. Shakespeare and James Bond voice lines so far. Now we have his laugh. Oh, that's a good mad, like, chemist, mad scientist laugh. Ooh. Very villainous laugh. I like those. All right, his basic attacks. Okay. And then we have attacking.
I hear you.
Why does he say this, I hear you? We have it like 3 times here. What is that? What does that mean? Why are we saying that?
On my way.
I guess these are just old League of Legends voice lines, huh?
It's nearly time. This may hurt.
Okay.
Mix, mix, swirl, mix.
Really, when he's attacking, he says that?
To shake
Yeah,
not
he
to
says
shake.
some of the same things. And you know what? You would think actually with the show that they might like, okay, they might say to themselves, let's go back and like add some more voice lines for these champions, because they're doing a lot of Arcane things. They're like adding a lot of Arcane elements into the game right now. Same with TFT, even like Valorant's getting some Arcane things. So you would think, come on, let's get some more voice lines in there. All right, we have ability casting. More laughs. These might even be the same laughs. And then we have using, oh, that was using fling specifically. Then we have his deaths, which always make me laugh. All right, guys, that's all we have for voice lines. Let's read down here, though, the little trivia about the voice lines. So, to shake or not to shake is a play on the famous quote from William Shakespeare's play Hamlet, to be or not to be. The removed death voice line, there's the rub, directly quotes the play. Oh, they still have it, though.
There's the rub.
That was removed for some reason, probably because League of Legends community is probably inappropriate. Shake and not stir directly quotes James Bond. And then Mix, Mix, Swirl, Mix is a reference to a scene from the Star Wars Holiday Special. Really?
Mix, swirl.
I have refused as a humongous Star Wars fan. I guess I have just I just know that the Star Wars Holiday Special is supposed to be something that you probably shouldn't even watch. All right, guys, that's literally all we have for Singed in terms of voice lines, in terms of lore. But the whole purpose, I think, of this video this week for Singed was more the aspect of getting the community to talk about Singed during this Arcane season, right? And I think, obviously, we're in the middle of the season right now as of recording this. You guys might watch this after the season, and then we'll see some crazy things and some crazy comments from after the season. That's totally fine. So, like, Singed is really trying to work on getting his immortality. He doesn't want to die, right? He's crazy. He's experimenting on people. He's doing all kinds of terrible things. But at the end of the day, his goal is to get some sort of immortality. Now, I'm wondering with maybe the way with Victor is going in season 2, I'm not sure if they're going to do anything with that. When I think of that, that makes me think of what in the world of Runeterra would possibly give Singed what he wants, right? Like, what could possibly give Singed immortality? I can't exactly think of a specific thing. There's so many different elements in all of Runeterra that like possibly could give him that. I guess if he became an Ascended in Shurima, but you know what I mean? Like, that's something that wouldn't happen to him. We obviously have Victor being changed a little bit in the show Arcane right now with what's going on with him. I don't know if that's something that, I don't think Victor is giving out immortality to people, but you know, he's doing some healing and stuff, and I don't know if that's something he could do for Singed. That'd be crazy if we get something like that, Victor and Singed meeting up again, because remember, we did have them seeing each other in season 1. It would be kind of coming full circle if they both end up meeting, because I feel like they're kind of, I don't want to say they're on the opposite spectrums of each other, but they kind of are. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, actually, I think from this video and from this lore and everything and from Arcane, now I actually kind of want to see Victor and Singed meet up again. But obviously, we have the whole Warwick thing. I definitely have to hear from all the Warwick people. What do you guys think will happen with Warwick this season? And like, do we think everything that's in the lore here, basically, right? Warwick actually like pretty much maims Singed. He doesn't maim Singed, but he definitely like hurts Singed quite a bit. I wonder if we'll end up getting that in the season. That'll be pretty cool. And then what's going to happen with Warwick this season, right? All right, I always like to see where Singed or where my champions could go in the future. In terms of where Singed could go in the future, I mean, he's probably just going to be staying in Zon. He's going to be helping out. He's going to still be experimenting until he finds this immortality that he wants. But I feel like he might need to experiment and go out of Zon. But I don't want him to go out of Zon because I don't want him to torture people in other places in Runeterra. If Noxus and Ionia ever go to war again, I could definitely see Noxus coming to him. Like if in a future season of, I guess we're not going to be calling it Arcane, but in a future season for a League of Legends show, if they end up going to Noxus and they focus on the Ionian War or something like that, I could definitely see like Singed making a cameo and them like getting him to come in with the, you know, with the substance that they end up using to burn Ionia. Or I don't know, right? I don't know if they already still have access to that. We don't know what's going on in the world of like the Arcane world and everything like that right now. So yeah, guys, I think that's going to do it. I definitely have to hear from everybody like throughout the years of League of Legends, since Singed is one of the original 6 champions. I'm sure you guys have tons of stories of like just Singed in general, of maybe when you played against him, when you used to use Singed, just him over the years, any like funny little things. You guys let me know what you think of him in Arcane currently. Where do you guys think he will end up going? How do you think Singed's story is going to end at the very end of this season of Arcane? That's definitely something that I'm not sure how that's going to end up going. We have him in Warwick, but like how did they just like, what is going to be the final scene of Singed in Arcane? I don't see him dying because I really don't see any of these characters dying. But yeah, we'll have to see, guys. All right, guys, please leave a thumbs up on this video. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing, checking out my other League of Legends reactions. We'll be doing Arcane reactions for season 2, so please check those out as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.